Hello, hello, hello. Here we are, live at 5 every Friday. Every Wednesday, Kenya time. We're here at 2 p.m. Ghana time. It would be 9 a.m. New York time, 6 a.m. California time, and 4 a.m. in Hawaii. Thank you for tuning in to Queen Mother Speaks. I am Ella Dashanaba King, your host, and I'm welcoming you to this wonderful Wednesday. We are still in our season 4, the fourth. So we're in our 4th year, and our theme is success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. That's right. So courage is the secret sauce that we use, that we act on despite what our fears may be. I give a shout out to Geneva and Solo in Florida. I think that's out of Orlando. Thank you. Kathy King, Rosemary Johnson, and Marilyn Lewis, all out of Florida, USA. We were expecting both Nana and Coach Ra in the house, but we actually have Coach Ra in the house today. And right now, I'm going to ask Coach Ra to give her hello to you. Coach, you ready?
Greetings and blessings to all. Welcome. Thank you for sharing your time with us. And we hope that you will stick through the entire hour because we have some exciting news and some news that require your immediate assistance. Stay tuned. Back to you, Queen.
Thank you, Coach. And right now, we're going to show who's in the Queen Mother Speak studio today. And each person can actually give their name, where they're from, the name of their company, and give shout outs to their guests. You want to start, Reuven?
Yes. Can you
Go
hear
right
me?
ahead.
Wow.
Yes, we
Hello,
hear you.
everybody. My name is Ruben Mbachen. I'm from Narok, and I'm the founder and the director of Narok Albinism Association. Tuning. I'll be back.
All right. Anybody you want to give a shout out to? Okay, we'll keep rolling. Let's go with Professor.
Good afternoon, Kenya time. This is Dr. NICHOLAS KWACH from Kenya, Nairobi. I'm speaking from Nairobi. I'm the founder and director of South for African Child Foundation. You're most welcome. I'll be getting back soon.
Thank you. Jane? Unmute yourself, Jane.
Yes, sorry for that. Hello, Kenya time. My name is JANE WANDERE, founder and director of Juja Rabbit Farm. Give a shout to my daughter and my Grace, my niece Shiro, and thank you for having me in today. Back to you, Queen Mother.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Coach?
Queen Mother, would you go ahead?
Okay, all right, no problem. We invite each of you to get relaxed and ready for the awesome show that we have today. Please hit that like, share, comment button and let us know you are there. Blessings to all of our faithful fans, Chantel, Bobby Paul, Lucy, Maurice in Kenya, Tali in Israel, Haverly Prince, Reverend Virginia Miller, Pastor Michael Miller, Flora Giles, tuning in from Birmingham, Alabama, USA. We want to invite each of you to continue to wash your hands, keep yourself safe, and just be alert. We do thank you for tuning in to the Queen Mother Speak Show. It is a safe space for information, inspiration, and expression. Bonga Dada Bonga, which is a platform for women's voices, is right now currently on break. But it will be coming back to us in the year 2024. We'll be telling you more about Bonga Dada Bonga. Thank you again for tuning in. Hello to the Honorable Margaret Tolley, Shreya, Rose Amwara, Anju, J. Mwangi, Parita, Rose Okalo, Maurice Bulu, and Estelle tuning in from Kenya. So what is this thing that we call Queen Mother Speaks? It is a community platform, and we deal with conversations that matter. We give you commentary on and insights on what becoming aware, being informed, being enlightening. We like to educate you. We like for you to laugh a bit. We talk about updates on expatriating to Africa. We give you news on worldwide events. We give you warm, witty dialogue with our guests, and we do a boutique of inspirational verses and quotes. So, from the Art of Living Institute, we had an online breathing session. This was actually during the pandemic, and now we've incorporated breathing into the Queen Mother Speak show every week. And here's how it happens. What we're going to do is we're going to breathe in through our nose to the count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we hold it to the count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we exhale very slowly to the count of 10. Breathe in to the count of 6, hold to the count of 6, exhale, count of 10. Are we ready? All right. Also, to those in the studio, let's get started. Breathe in. Hold. Release. Okay, we'll do it again. Breathe in to the count of 6. Okay, we're going to try one more. Thank you. Breathe in. Thank you. Thank you very much for participating with me in that breathing exercise. And we know that breath is life. And I want you to know that Queen Mother breathed her way through the pandemic. I'm here in Kenya. My family's back in America. My other family is over there in Ghana, and I was here. I'm not going to say stuck here because I'm never stuck in Kenya. Kenya is a great place to be. But meanwhile, breathing helped me through that period. It can also help you in any stressful situation. All you need to do is just breathe. And I trust you got a chance to touch some of your inner peace doing that breathing exercise. Okay. So in this moment, we're going to go to our meditation reading. I'm going to repeat the topic 3 times, and I ask you to listen from your heart. The topic today is I am wonderfully made. I am wonderfully made. I am wonderfully made. We are actually examples of what love forms. When we talk about the marvelous work of God, we must not be reluctant to include ourselves and others. We are all evidence of God's magnificence in bringing ideas to form. Although God did not make us identical in the human being form, God wants us to know how special we are as individualized, unique expressions of the whole. As expression of God's likeness, you, me, and everyone else, all of us are dynamic, we're energetic expressions of God. When I consider God's love for me, I must also consider how God formed all people in his own image. My reverence for God means I look outward and I look beyond outward appearances to the godness of myself and the godness of others. I love God fully. I have full reverence and appreciation for God for making me so wonderfully. Thank you, life in me, as me, through the Christ within, And so it is. Our scripture reading for today: I will praise thee because of the wonders which thou hast done. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knows all is well. Psalms 139:14. The daily thoughts from the Hill is from Hillside International Truth Center, located in Atlanta, Georgia, USA. All right, folks, it's December and it's time to celebrate a lot, but it's also the time to celebrate the spiritual gift of life. Life is the perfect person, idea, the ability to energize, vitalize, enliven, invigorate our mind and our body. So, in the month of December, the spiritual faculty for this month is the faculty called life. Life. Okay. So now we're going to get ready to introduce some of our guests in the house today. Coach, do you have the introduction for Miss Jane? Unmute.
Yes. Good evening, family. It is indeed a great pleasure to introduce to you Jane Margaret Wandere, a Christian, Wandere, pardon me, a Christian by faith. Jane was born the number four in the family of siblings in the outskirts of El Dorés town. She grew up in a rural setup and took part in all farm activities. She was very sickly, and her dad's sister took care of her and helped her improve in her health. She completed secondary school and certificate in garment making. Later, Jane worked in the textile sector as a grain trainer and a mass production quality control in denim laundry, EPC. 4 years, a reception for 3 years, and community-based work for 3 years before pursuing her diploma in 2012 at KISMCD, a BA in 2014, and a master's in 2023. Born 2021, both at the University of Nairobi, and currently pursuing a PhD in sociology at Kenyatta University. She joined the Nestle Kenya Company in 2014 as a program field coordinator, and rose to become a national program coordinator, coordinating Nestle for Healthy Kids program in 8 countries. The program is running eight counties, sorry. The program is running in over 1,185 schools with over 460 live nutrition gardens, 20 schools with rabbits, and 150 community gardens during COVID-19 period. It is at this point that I started considering rabbit farming as a business venture. Welcome, Wandere. Welcome to the QMS. That's you, Queen. Back to you, Queen.
Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, Jane, there we go. So I want to welcome you, Jane, to the Queen Mother Speak show. So as you grew up in a rural setting and you were learning about farming, I'm sure you found out how farming could be very beneficial. But for a long time, commercial rabbit farming in Kenya for meat production had not been taken seriously. Tell us, why did you choose rabbit farming over vegetable farming?
Thank you, Queen Mother. And I chose rabbit farming, number one, as a sustainability program which I was running, and my interest in pets and also the goats while I was growing up. So I thought for myself at one point, why not give a shot in the rabbit farming? Because I was passionate on chicken and the goats, the milk goats, the one that produces milk. So I thought so many people have ventured into goat farming, into chicken, poultry, that is, others on dairy farming. And I thought rabbit meat is very good. It's a white meat which has high protein and it is not harmful to human. It's a category of chicken. So I thought to give people an alternative of poultry. Thus, I diverged into rabbit keeping. And again, out of learning psychology, rabbit has a way of soothing somebody until you get off the stress. So that was one of the passions that I had, and that which drove me into rabbit farming.
I see. What are some of the benefits of commercial rabbit farming? Like, do they grow faster than the chickens? Do they mature faster? I've heard that rabbit meat is sweeter. I don't know. I think I tried rabbit meat once or twice as a child, but I haven't tried it as an adult. But what can you tell us some of the benefits of commercial rabbit farming?
Number one, rabbit farming is not that tedious. And two, it is not that costly. It is something that one can do at a simple capital. And the rabbits are not much exposed to diseases compared to poultry farming. So with a roughly estimate, when we are starting the rabbit farming, we always encourage one to have 12 cages, which will cost you 4,500 per cage. That is an estimate of about 12 times 5. That is about, with 50,000 you have started.
And
Comparing,
you're saying
if you look,
50,000 shillings. 50,000
yes,
shillings.
yes.
And what would that look like in US money, I wonder? Maybe we'll find out later. We'll talk about it later, but
Okay.
I wonder what 50,000 shillings looks like in US dollars to give the other viewers some idea of what it would cost to get into the rabbit business in dollars. And you've actually answered my very next question, which was if rabbit farming was profitable and how much does it cost to get into the business. You've already answered those questions for us. Okay, let's go
Okay.
back for a moment and talk about in growing rabbits or being into rabbit farming, right? What do you actually do to do that? I mean,
Come again.
how do you rabbit farm? We know that if you have chickens, we know what they eat or don't eat. If you have goats or cows, you know what they eat. What do you feed the chickens?
What I feed the rabbit, Queen Mother, we feed
Mm.
the rabbit with a pellet for supplement, but majorly rabbits are supposed to eat hay, and there are other plants like kales. But when we feed the kales to the rabbit, they have to wither. You don't give them when they are watery, because
Hmm.
if you give them watery, they cause diarrhea. So we have to wither them. If I'm feeding them tomorrow, I'll pluck the kales today, I'll pluck moringa tree today and dry them, the moringa leaves, dry them. Then I will give them tomorrow when they have withered a little bit. So the hay, same case applies to the hay. It has to be
Hmm.
dry. It supplements calcium on the rabbits. Then we give pellet, like a small rabbit of 2 months, we give 75 grams of pellet as a supplement. Yes,
Hmm.
Queen Mother.
Hmm. Okay.
But, but on
Very
the
good.
higher
Very
part,
good.
80%, we give the grass. That is especially the road grass, which forms hay. And also we give the leafy vegetables.
Okay. Okay. Tell
And
us about what does employment look like inside of having rabbit farming?
employment.
Yeah. What does employment look like?
Of course, employment takes you 8 to 8. As much as when I'm working with Nestle is more flexible because I'm the one to come up with a program of how the implementation of the program takes, and that gives me a way I'm able to manage my the rabbit farming, as much as I have a handman who is on the ground for me
Uh-huh.
if I'm out of Nairobi.
Okay. Well, Jane, why don't you go ahead and give us your contact information? I'll put it up on the screen. Okay. And for those interested, they can contact you. What's the phone number?
0725
Mm-hmm.
920
Mm-hmm.
416.
Very well. We're going to put that up on the screen now. And this is how you can reach Jane if you're interested in the rabbit farming or you're ready to place your order even. What do rabbits cost if you want to buy them? I mean, how do you buy them? Do you buy them like you buy chicken or?
You can visit, we normally advise you visit, there are two ways of production in rabbits. You can produce for meat or produce line production. Line production means you are sustaining the breed. If you have a New Zealand and you want to sustain it, then you have to do it in a line production. But when you want to do production for meat, then we prefer the giant, New Zealand giant, Dutch giant, California giant, like that. But if you're buying, either way, a 2 to 3 month rabbit, which you want to go and keep, then it will cost you 1,000. When we are selling for meat, a kilo goes for 800 shillings per kilo. And a fully mature rabbit goes to about 3.54 kgs.
Queen, what does that mean in American dollars? Because I'm a little, is that like $30, $40? I'm confused.
Well, she said about 1,000 shillings. That's a little, maybe about $7 for a kilo. And you know, we don't buy by kilo. We buy by the pound. I think in America, we still buying by the pound in America.
Yes, it's by the pound, but everywhere else is a kilo, from my understanding.
Okay. All right. Well, Jane, thank you. And again, Jane does rabbit farming. If you're interested in buying some good rabbit meat, I hear is very sweet. Reach Jane on 0725-920-416. We're going to bring her back before the show is over. Right now,
Can Jane, Queen, can Jane give us can she give us a quick recipe?
We normally encourage wet fry or dry fry. We don't encourage soup or sauce on the rabbit. If you want to taste the sweetness of the rabbit, make it a wet fry or a dry fry.
Okay,
and
very
there's
well.
Also another advantage.
Go ahead.
Sorry for that. Another advantage is the rabbit urine. We use it for foliar feeds, but I can cover that later, Queen Mother.
Okay, very well. Now, did you hear that? She talked about rabbit urine, and she will cover that before the show is over. Let's keep going. Let's go to our next guest for today. His name is Dr. Nicholas.
Do you want me?
I know. Pardon?
You want me to do it?
Okay, thank you.
Nana, Professor Nicholas, Soul for African Child Sustainability, promotes the advocacy for children's right to education in Africa's marginalized groups. We set the stage for African children to fight for a better tomorrow as founder of Souls for Africa Child Foundation. This is the work, that is the work of Professor Soul for African Child's.
Yes, you're fine.
African Child's impactful presence resonates across Ghana, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Nigeria, Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya, igniting transformative initiatives that empower and uplift the African child. Today, Professor speaks on the global 16 days of activism against gender-based violence and what you can do. Professor Nicholas, I was told, is a former student of Queen Mother Speaks. Professor, welcome. Thanks for thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Coach. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Queen Mother. Thank you very much. We've talked again. Of course, yet we'll be talking to Ruben. I'm so grateful to come on board again And of course, as you explained it well, it is 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. This one started last month on 25th of that's November, and will be continuing up to 10th of this month. And we have been able to have a lot of activities, of course, visiting various communities in Kenya, and of course our friends also in Congo and in Rwanda have told us the same, that they will be doing some activities there. And we have found some statistics that could be quite worrying. But then what must we do? That means the only way that we find some solutions to whatever is happened today. At least 200 million women and girls across the world have undergone genital mutilation. And of course, much of it we find in African context, where we have some cultures that still have not, what can you say, that have not gone past such kind of cultures to find, how we can be able to make sure that the education of the girl child is well taken care of, just like of the boy child. Basically, as you've explained so well, that our area of expertise is on the side of how do we get every child accessing education. And this begins from the point that they must be coming from families that are at least as peaceful. And so when you talk about gender-based violence, we know one thing, that the casualties of such kind of malpractices are the kids that need to get to school. And so it is because of such that we found these 16 days of activism very, very key in our setup as South Africa. That we look at the parents, whether they are single parents, whether they're coming from their orphan children. We look at that angle, that what kind of family do they come from, and how can they be assisted to get access to quality education. And so with the statistics that we have found from the ground, it's kind of worrying, as much as we have seen most of those women living through such kind of process of life, which seems to be demeaning or kind of interfering with their day-to-day welfare. We looked at it that it is so timely that we have such kind of days in a year. And this time, yes, we met several organizations that we partner with, and I'm so glad to say that some of the legislation that we will also have in the country are so much supportive in ways that we must say no to gender-based violence. Yes, we talk about teenage pregnancies. And this one here that we, as much as we may be trying to provide some materials towards the girl child, that they're able to access education and in terms of sanitary pads. But then we found that one area that really contributes that kind of a thing is much to do with gender-based violence. Because once you have families that are not well taken care of, then you find that some of those girls are not able to proceed with education, or they're married off at tender age, and such therefore brings a vicious circle to what can term as poverty. And therefore, we as South Africa, and of course my team being around, it is one area that we look at it from an holistic view, that what is it that we must do therefore to reduce gender-based violence, because by so doing, we know that we shall have reduced what we term as teenage pregnancies, and of course we lower school dropouts, and in the process of it, of course, we lower things to do with crime rate in our communities. And so I'm so pleased that Queen Mother has given this chance, that I come on board away from the activity that you've been undergoing all these for the last 7 days, and of course you're still proceeding with them up to 10, that I give me this chance to be able to come on board, and together with the great people like Ruben, who have done great work in some parts of the country, and we'll want to join hands, knowing very well that it's not an activity that an individual company or organization can be able to carry on their own.
Thank you, Lady Madeline Roseland, for tuning in to the Queen Mother Speak show. And also thank you, Professor Nicholas, Dr. Nicholas, my student, my friend, my business associate. We'll be making some announcements to you about some of the things that Professor Nicholas and I will be doing into the future. But right now, as we stay tuned into the 16 days of gender based violence, and what is it that you can do? Let me say that about a week ago, last week, Queen Mother was in a place called Kitale. And while I was there, I got to learn that there was a big epidemic in Kitale because a lot of the young girls, the teenagers, so they had over 11,000 teenagers in that one county alone that had become pregnant. And the question is asked, why so many? Are they playing around that much? So there's a lot of reasons as to why these young girls are getting pregnant and why so many, in one county. But we also found that HIV is on the rise in that particular community. Okay. And so one of the things in talking with some of the girls there is that what we must be willing to do is to listen to what those people who are involved in any form of violence, we just want to be big enough to just listen to them. Okay. And then inquire about their needs and inquire about their concerns. For example, they may, if you're in a position to ask them, do you need anything to eat? Do you need anything to eat? Or did you have water today? So when you're with them, you don't know where they're coming from, but mostly what you want to do is listen. But as you observe them, you may come to have some other questions for them, like they may not have on a pair of socks, right? Or you know what I'm saying? So be attuned into them. But for the most part, what I've learned is for us to listen and for us to show compassion and show them that you understand what they are saying to you. And if you don't understand what they're saying to you, you kind of have to take a look at their disposition and see how and when you may be able to ask them other questions. But gender-based violence, it's big time all over the world, but certainly we're having it here in this country called Kenya. Our next guest that we want to bring on the show is a young man by the name of Ruben Impatiani. And Ruben, I've come to me. First off, let me just say I visited his website and I was like, oh, wow. Just by looking at the brother's website, I felt the energy that he brings to the table. And he has expertise in strategic leadership programming management, capacity development, and advocacy, which he has acquired through his work across various development, including eradicating female genital mutilation for persons with disabilities. I'm going to say that again. Ruben has been very active in advocacy and work across various development organizations for eradicating female genital mutilation in persons with disabilities. He's also an activist in adolescent sexual and reproductive health. He's in a place called Narok. I've been there. I love Narok. In fact, I'd like to live there for at least a quarter or a year or two of my life. He's come up with some registered self-help groups for persons with disabilities and for youths too. He has several groups for parents who have children with disabilities. And one group he has called Oman, which is a youth group, which helps those youth to improve their own living standard. Ruben's done accounting courses at Adamus College of Accountancy, and he's also done IT. He serves right now as the founder and the executive director of the Narok Albinism Association, which is a nonprofit, right, that was formed to advocate for the rights of persons with disability in Narok County. I was telling Ruben that I'm more happy to meet him. He told me he was happy to meet me. And I told him, oh no, brother, I'm really more happy to meet you because I too share a passion with Ruben, just as Professor Nicholas does. We share passion with Nicholas on doing what we can do for people with disability. Okay. And he's doing a wonderful job by helping people with albinism through creating awareness campaigns for fighting stigma against them. He's also ensuring that people with albinism have access to sunscreen lotion. And he's going to talk about that in a moment. He also oversees that albinos are not being discriminated against. And anytime he hears anything about it from anyone, Ruben is definitely on the case. Okay. Today, he's going to talk about many things. He's going to talk about albinism. He's going to talk about people in the albinism community who've been sexually abused. He's also going to talk about some of the activities in Narok County right now for the 16 days of activism. Ruben, please greet our audience. Okay.
Good evening, everybody.
There he is.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy, Queen Mother, being here.
Yes.
I can't just take it for granted. I'm very much happy. My name is Ruben, as I said before, and I'm born again. I love Jesus as my personal savior, and I am the founder of Narok Association, as you've heard. And what I can say, what pushed me to come up with an organization, I can say that what I went through while young or during my early age time. I was one of the person who was born in the Maas Island. Actually, now in our family, we are only 3 brothers, and I'm the only one with albinism. And in the society, they saw albinism that used to be something very funny, like they say it's a bad omen, they say it's a curse, you see. So and I thank God because I'm alive today, because we all know that in our society they do kill persons with disabilities and also albinism. They normally kill them because they think that it's a curse. To me, I can say that my mother also passed a lot because she was chased out of home because of me. She went for 3 years and she took me out there. And maybe now after my dad realized that after he was told about albinism, also all about albinism, and that's when maybe he accepted my mother back home. Secondly, when I grew up, I started going to primary school, and I used to walk 5 kilometers under the sun, and that's when I succumbed skin cancer. Actually, I'm the survivor of skin cancer. I have encountered stage 1. Because I used to walk under the sun, and by then nobody knows the problem I'm undergoing. Nobody knows that I'm being affected by the sun. Nobody knows anything about albinism. So I passed a lot. Very many people. Because the stigma was very, very high, very high. It's so funny, and it's very sad if I can tell you that there were people who were spitting on me, saying, "What is this? Walking about?" While I was in school, kids were coming and touching me. They were following me all over. Even if I go to the washrooms, they followed me. They just want to touch this skin. It's like it's made of plastics, metal. You see, because I was the only person different in our community. And when I went to high school, actually I went to, after 5 years, I went to boarding school, and there I realized that there are people. At least that there are people who knows a little bit about albinism, especially teachers. And that's when I was taking the front seat, and I was able to see the blackboard a bit well. And when I went to high school, I went to the school whereby there wasn't a teacher who knows anything about albinism. They were pushing me back, the middle of the class. So I was not able to see the blackboard well, and my problems raised also from there, and also the stigma was very, very, very high. And I thank God because my leadership, there was leadership in me. Because if I can't tell you when I was in boarding, I was a leader since class 3 to 8. When I went to high school, I was also a leader. I was a CU leader. When I went to college, I was a student leader. You see, despite of stigma, because I accepted myself the way I am. Whenever you accept yourself, nothing will overcome you. So, despite of my albinism, I said yes, I can, because disability is not inability.
All right. Say that
And
again, Ruben. Say that one
yes,
again, Ruben.
I'm saying
Disability is
that
not.
disability is not inability.
All right.
Yeah, and for actually, and what makes me to come up with an organization is basically because of that. I never wanted other people to pass the hardship that I've went through. I started the organization the year back 2017, and I fully registered in 2020, whereby we advocate. Actually, there before a number of persons with albinism, they were dying of skin cancer. They were dying of skin cancer. Then I came in. I was talking in all local radio station. I was doing advocacy, and I was able to approach the county government. I tell them that they need to support the organization so that we can be able to reach those people who are vulnerable. And through that also, I was able to ask the county to employ the dermatologist. And for your information, Queen Mother, the dermatologist was employed through my advocacy, which was one of the successful story that I did. After I saw a number of PWAs are dying of skin cancer. And if you see these people with albinism are the marginalized group in a field of people with disabilities. And when you see the parents who giving birth to children with albinism, actually they are really, really undergoing a lot. They are crying day and night. Right now, as we speak today, I have 3 cases of 3 mothers who are crying to me that my husband is leaving me. My husband has already left me. For your information, Queen Mother, just 2 months ago, there was a woman who wanted to commit suicide. She has 3 kids with albinism and 2 without albinism, and the husband abandoned the wife, and the children are in school. The wife didn't have any job, you see, and the only person she knows, she looks for me. Ruben, come and help me. I've prepared everything. I'm planning to kill my 5 children and kill myself. But I came, I talked to her, I counseled her, and initially I had a project in the organization about the economic empowerment, and I engaged her in the project, and at least she came back to her senses, and I help her. I hold her hand until right now she's running her own business. So that's another successful story that we save the lives of people. Because such people are really, really undergoing a lot. If you go talk about the FGM, the FGM is very, very, very high in our community. Because I come from a Maasai land. Yeah, the FGM is very high, but I normally say that anybody that undergoes FGM, I assume that person has disability because the part of the body has been removed. So just assume a person with disability has also gone under FGM. So there's another problem on top of another problem. You see, And it's so sad because actually they are really undergoing a lot. Thirdly, Queen Mother, let's talk about the pregnancy. I came and realized that what's bring the higher level of pregnancy, it's poverty. You find our young ladies, their parents, they are, or even sometimes they are not able to afford the sanitary towels, and you find the man there, yes, go there, and then this lady meets a man. He buy her a sanitary pads, and the same guy at the end of it he wants to be paid, and you know the payment, absolutely doing sex to that person, and increase the level of pregnancy, teenage pregnancy. So teenage pregnancy is brought by poverty. So, Queen Mother, that's all about the organization and what to do. We do awareness creation to the communities about persons with disabilities. We do linkages. We tell people to register under National Council for Persons with Disabilities, so that they can get that card for persons with disabilities, so that they can get access or government access very, very easily. Because when you have the card for persons with disabilities, it's very, very important for them to have it, because it's an ID, an identification card for PWS. So we normally advocate for them to go and register so that they can easily get the government services.
Very well. Wow, you've shared a lot of information with us today, Ruben. I'm at a loss for where to start, but as we are inside of this 16 days of activism for violence against women and girls, are there any activities happening in the county as we speak? Are there any activities happening in Narok County on the 16 days of activism?
Yes. The activity that we have done so far, we launched the 16 days of activism on 25th November, and on that, on first we held the World AIDS Day, and then on that we also had the International Disability Day, whereby we were doing mainstreaming. We were also doing awareness to the community about persons with disabilities. And I just yesterday, I don't even I've shared it to you. We had what you call male engagement. We had made the community engagement, whereby we meet the community at the grassroots. We group the men alone, and we group the women in a different group, so that we were telling men the disadvantages of FGM. We were educating them the disadvantage, because a man is ahead. So when a man stops the FGM, actually the society will forget about it. So we were educating men to stop FGM, actually, and they promised us, and they took an oath saying that FGM will no longer be had in that place. So because we realize that all these things, a man is the one to order. He gives order. Yes, do this. Yes, do that. You see, but we saw the target is the men. So we had to talk to them, to educate them, so that they're able to stop these things in the society. We are also telling them about the GBV, because the gender-based violence is very, very, very high in our places. You find a man bullying a woman, you see, and sometimes things go the other way around. Women are beating their husbands, you see. And these things are happening. So I'm pleading, and my request is that maybe if we get a well-wisher, maybe who can be helping us to do some things. Maybe I've been thinking of one day, one time, just to purchase a piece of land to build a resource center, and We have a conference hall there, and also we have a safe house. A safe house whereby, you know, where when there's a GBV or maybe there's an FGM happening somewhere, we bring them and to bring them to put this safe house, because the major problem repeats itself. Yes, today we have done this. Now, because there's now a safe house, the same person will go back to the to his or her home, and FGM will still go on. So I'm pleading, or maybe if I get well-wisher who can hold our hands, maybe to achieve my goals, absolutely, I'll appreciate. Yeah.
Well, you can count on us, Ruben, for being involved with you. One of the things that the Queen Mother Show is about is creating awareness and having people speak about what it is that's going on. So we're very happy to have you on the show today, and we will have you back again and again. And we'd like to learn more about your project that you just spoke on, about a building and then a safe house all at the same time. Of course, they won't be in the same place, will they? But then we don't know. Let's see. Let's just see.
Thank you so much.
What the future may hold. I am glad you're here. What I'd like to do now, we're about at the end of the show for today. Let me see if any of the guests announce if anything else they would like to say. Stay tuned, Ruben. Stay there. Anything else you'd like to say, Professor?
Yes, I'm so glad of hearing what Ruben just said. And just kind of had on something small on top of what you said concerning technology. When you went to Kwale, that's the coastal area of Kenya, one thing that we involved was think about the communities, you know, how they can use technology on a better way to make some kind of mean structures that will make families to be stable in terms of having using technology in a better way. Because you know today it looks like the new oil. Technology is everywhere, and somehow it has come, but with no instruction on how it can be used in order to bring down things to do with gender-based violence. And so I will encourage my brother Ruben that in the process of doing this activism, they may also sensitize families, they may sensitize communities on how they can engage the use of technology in a way that it can be useful to create more awareness in communities. And of course, it cannot only done physically, one-on-one, but using technology to spread the good news that it is possible that we can have engagement in where we can say no to gender-based violence, no to teenage pregnancies and such like anomalies, then it's a good thing. So that at least, therefore, you can be able to be proud of technology of today, not to be a curse as in our area. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, Coach, any closing words?
Thank you for all the guests for joining us and informing us of the rabbit farming, the organizations for children, and the woman, the last guest, Ruben. What I want to make sure that everyone is aware of is that December is Stomach Cancer Awareness Month, Constipation Awareness Month, and HIV AIDS Awareness Month. And these are three major critical diseases that are affecting a high proportion of melanated folks, Black folks, particularly in the Western region. And so at some point, I would like us to, I will be discussing perhaps in January about all these facets of diseases and how they can be eradicated if we adopt a different lifestyle.
Yes.
And so with that being said, I'll turn it over to Queen. But Queen, did you want me to read the definition of albinism to the general population, or we can.
Why don't we do that? Even though Ruben is not in the studio at this moment. Yeah, please go ahead and read that because we assume that people know
Yeah,
things.
we
What
assume
statement it
that.
is. What is
Ruben,
it? Please back
yeah,
in.
Ruben,
Go
thank you
ahead.
for your presentation. And I want us to talk about the definition of albinism. Usually refers to a group of disorders passed down to in families where the body makes little or none of a substance called melanin.
Mhm.
Albinism is the absence of melanin. Okay, so we've established that. The type of amount of melanin in your body determines the color of your skin. The more melanated you are, the darker you are. Hair and eyes. Melanin also plays a role in the development and function of the eyes. So people with albinism have vision problems. Are there other areas where problems experienced that is not talked about? Ruben, perhaps you can come back and explain to us that whole situation with the eyes and the challenges the health challenges that albinism faces. Thank you so much. Thank you, Queen. Back to you, Queen.
Thank you, and over to Ruben.
Over to you, Ruben.
Oh,
Hello.
We
yeah.
lost
Yeah,
him.
thank you so.
He may. It's okay. He may pop back into the studio. But what we were asking is that we seem to know that lack of melanin is what caused the albinism color, and we've also seemed to know that people with albinism might have some eye issues. We're asking you, Ruthven, what else is there that we may not be aware of? We know about the color of the skin, and we know about the eyes. What else is there that we don't know about that we might need to know about as far as
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. First, we know that albinism uh, it's a genetic condition characterized by lack of melanin in both ears, skin, and eyes. So, genetic mean maybe the family of the mother means that there was one person with albinism, and in the family of the father means that there was one person with albinism, and when they meet there's a 75% to get a child with albinism. There are three types of albinism. We have ocular cutaneous albinism, we have ocular albinism, and we have vitiligo. Ocular cutaneous albinism is now the way I am, affected, lacking melanin in both hairs, skin, and eyes. That is ocular cutaneous albinism. The second one is ocular albinism. Uh, and ocular albinism, we also call the rufus. It's just a normal person with a black skin, but only eyes are lacking albinism. You see the such people with brown eyes, those are ocular albinism. The third group is vitiligo. Vitiligo is whereby somebody can grow up maybe at the age of at the elderly at that age. That person start losing the color from starting from the fingers or sometimes around the cheeks and sometimes in the body around the stomach back. You see, that is vitiligo. But vitiligo, for those who normally taken as a severe one are those who are highly affected. Those who the one who are taken and can be called the persons with disabilities. Those who have been affected all over. So that's all about albinism. We'll get
okay.
another time. I'll teach you more about albinism. Thank you so much for your time.
And thank you too. And we are going to come back again, Ruben, and we're going to hear more because we really do want to be educated. And that's part of what the Queen Mother Speak show is about, being informative, being educative, right? and giving people a chance to express their opinions as well as an opportunity to laugh. I'm going to tell you that this is a great show. Thank you, Jane. Perhaps one of these sweet days I'll call you up and see about trying some rabbit. But I don't know. I used to have rabbits as pets, Jane. Rabbits used to be my pets when I was a
No, but
little girl growing up. So I don't
Queen,
know. I don't know.
I,
I'm the same way about chicken. I can't eat too much chicken because they used to be my pets too, right? And
I,
how do you eat your pet? You don't do that. You just
I
don't do
want
that.
I want her to talk about. I want her to come back and really talk about the urine as a fuel system. That's what I'm interested in. I'm very interested in the urine being utilized as fuel.
All right, Jane, take it away.
Okay. I am grateful, Queen Mother, and the whole team. Appreciate for even being hosted in the show. So the rabbit urine is normally has a high levels of urea. So we normally use it as a spray or foliar feeds. Instead of using chemically generated foliar feeds, then we use it as organic foliar feeds, where we use the ratio of 1 liter of urine, of rabbit urine, to the ratio of 5 liters of water. So you mix in that ratio proportionally, and then you spray to your kilns or you spray to the larger land. So normally we collect it. However, how we build our cages, we build them in such a way that you put little gutters which are able to collect the urine on the top. We build our cages in three layers, the first, second, third. So all the urine is directed to one collection point. So when it comes to the collection point, then we put it in a 20-liter jerrycan, which later we sell or we use it in our gardens. So we always encourage the farmers to use organically made fertilizer, and also use organic foliar feeds when they're spraying their plants. Number one, the organic manure is good and it is healthy. It doesn't harm us when we take those vegetables. As much as the business people are business oriented or profit oriented, but you also have to look at the other side of health, human health. So when we sell to the farmers our urine, we sell it a liter at 300 shillings, between 200 shillings, that is roughly $2 or close to that, if I'm not wrong. Then we teach them how to apply it or how to spray it. And we also encourage them to use the poo-poo of the rabbit poo-poo just to spread on the land where they are planting, and because it is much also as a DAP when they are planting, and it boosts the vegetative part of the vegetables and other plants. So it is a very
So, Jane,
interesting
am I
kind of
understanding
farming.
you? Yeah, am I understanding you to say that rabbit urine is used in the shambas in the gardens?
Yeah, yes,
Okay. What does it do?
Oh, so in other words, it's a fertilizer.
yes, and a top dresser.
Uh-huh.
That's
Top
good to
dresser.
know. That's good to know.
It also serves as it kills the insects, the pests, controls pests.
Mm.
Yes.
Very good, very good. Very good. All right, I'm going to make one other
Interestingly, Queen
announcement.
Mother,
Go ahead, Jane.
interesting, we are looking at when we bring up the rabbit, a mature rabbit weighs between 3 kilograms to 4. But when you slaughter it, the dead weight comes to about 1.5, because the skin is not being used and the head and the hides. Currently, we are pursuing to get a tannery where we can tan the skin and also be able to create a form of employment to the youth and also to the women, so that they can also have a source of income. So our program is geared towards employment creation, as much as we campaign to the, hopefully we get a platform where we can campaign to the government to make agriculture a compulsory subject to the schools, because in Kenya we normally say, we have a slogan that agriculture is the backbone of our nation. But you look at it and see, if it is the backbone of our nation, then the subject is optional in school. So every person who leaves secondary school or all levels may not even have the simple agricultural skill. So we hoped that the government may consider it and make agriculture a compulsory subject from the primary school to the secondary school and even maybe into the university, so that
Wow.
whoever exits in the education system and pursues any other course, engineering, piloting, and all that, may have simple agricultural skills, which I have seen in my working with Nestle Kenya. Children are embracing at a high rate. They love the rabbits, they love the nutritional gardens that we do, and we are hoping to do the program that will be running, especially in the rabbit. We have a 4K club that runs the program. And so we tell the teacher, we always encourage that every child will have a dough that has been serviced, so that it will go home and each child has that rabbit. So it also serves as an income generating activity to the parent, and also the child have an ownership, and also taught how to do record keeping, and also financial management, simple financial management skills. We were trying to the banks to come in and help us train the children on money making issues and money management. We are still pursuing it so far.
Oh, that is so exciting.
Thank you. Thank
That
you,
is so
Queen.
exciting because we know when we start teaching our children things at a young age, as they grow older, they can certainly work with that and use that. And starting them at an early age is great. I want to thank each of you for being on the Queen Mother Speaks show today. It's been my honor to have you. And I have also loved very much all of the things that we're talking about. So you see, I got to hear some more about this rabbit farming. And I'm not going to say I'm going to eat any meat right now, but I want to learn more about rabbit farming and all of the things it could do in the programs that we're creating for the children. Queen Mother, just want to say that
Queen
the
Mother,
year
please.
was, pardon?
We are having a feast for the rabbit meat barbecue in next week. I should send you a link and invite you to taste.
Well, you do that. And if you want me to, I can even post it on my walls for
Yes.
other people to also taste the rabbit.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. And our coordinator too.
Please do that. If you want me to post it, I'll post it. Professor Nicholas is also in Nairobi. Maybe we can taste it. Have you ever tasted rabbit meat, Professor?
All right, I think they are very interesting thing to get it very well from the farmers.
Ah,
Just know you are crowd coming this place.
okay.
You're much welcome. I'll give the direction. Thank you so much, Prof.
Stay there.
Thank
Don't, stay in the studio. I just have one other thing that we would like to say today, and that is, as you know, and if you don't know, Queen Mother was installed as a Queen Mother in the Republic of Ghana in the year 2007. It was during Ghana's 50th year of independence that I was installed as a Queen Mother. Mid-October this year, we had a major flood in Ghana in the Volta region. In fact, in the region where Queen Mother was installed. Now, the Volta region is a pretty big region. Okay, so when you hear me say Volta region, it covers a very great large area. But one of the things that Queen Mother has done is we've started a fund so that you can help us now. We definitely need your help. When we talk about an area being flooding and houses underwater, it is the actual truth. And so we started a fundraising campaign to help those citizens in Ghana, in the Volta region, who have now become homeless. It's about, at last count, it was like 60,000 individuals displaced. So I put on the screen the PayPal information where you can go into PayPal and make a donation if you choose. Also, so I'm just going to go leave that up for just another moment. Secondly, we have a bank account for the corporations and companies who like to send a check. You can use this account number. We will be posting this also on the Queen Mother Speaks sites. But last but not least, we also have a, Here's the third one. Okay, here it is. The third one is we've now established a GoFundMe account. All you have to do is click on that link. Click on that link, and you can make your donation to the Ghana Volta Region Flood Relief. We'll be talking more about it. We will be covering something on the flood every week because right now, you know, it's interesting. It's been about 6 weeks since the flood, and people seem to think that because it was a few weeks ago that everything's all right. It is not all right. It is very much not all right. We need your donations. I'm very happy Queen Mother is partnered with Red Cross. And as a result of that, we have been able to get some tents put up in the areas that are not flooded. And people are now being under the tents. Red Cross has also brought in some blankets for the people. But I get messages from the people every day, and Red Cross hasn't gotten everywhere. So I'm going to encourage you, people on the ground in Ghana, the churches, the organizations, the schools, go up to the Volta region, take some clothes, take some shoes, take some blankets. You know, you can donate money through your phone to them, the people, and trust me, Ghana is not the only region that's flooding right now. But it is the area right now that Queen Mother Speaks is focusing on and asking for your support. I want to thank you for that. We've run over regular showtime a little bit, but right now we're going to do as we always do for ending the Queen Mother Speaks show, and we end the show with love. And the way we do that is watch me. First, we take the left hand and we blow a kiss. Then we take the second hand, right hand, we blow a kiss. Then we take both hands. And then we send love into the world because we know that love is the most healing force in the universe. And we have no idea how many of the people, we got another message coming in right now. Let's put that up for you to see. Let's see. Okay, I thought that was another message coming in, but we're going to go ahead and send our love out into the world. So for those who are speaking about what's happening on the 16 days of activism against violence for women and girls, there is something you can do. And one of the things you can do, as Professor Nicholas pointed out, is to listen. Listen to them. And then if you're in a position to help or to put something in their hand, do that as well. And right now, we're going to do what we can do, and we can send out some love, and we're going to do that right now. Okay, so with your left hand, everybody, here we go. Together, 1, 2, 3, go. Mwah. Okay, now we're going to take our right hand and throw some love. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, now we're going to take both hands. And as you're blowing these kisses, I want you to blow it with feeling because you don't know who needs what you've got to send. So let's give it to them right now. Thank you. Thank you. Great, great, great guest in the house. Thank you for tuning in to the Queen Mother Speaks every Wednesday, every week, live at 5 p.m. Kenya time. Oh, next week on the show, guess what? Guess what? First off, we're going to start with our holiday gift. And our holiday gift is a grant writing workshop. Nana will be here next week to tell you all about that. And secondly, we're going to have a product that's called X39 stem cells. Are you familiar with that? Have you heard about the stem cell product? That is a product where they actually take stem cells from your body, put it in a patch, put it back on your body, and it rejuvenates your body and heals you. Can you believe that? We're going to have people on next week who talk about, we got men coming on, y'all, that talk about they have prostate cancer and they use this X39 stem cell. Those men are out having fun. I can't even catch up with them to put them on the show now. X39 stem cells. Next week, Queen Mother Speaks. Thank you for tuning in. It's a great day.